Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH_sports. All right. So I have this autograph that I didn't show you before. It's of the greats Willie Mays and Duke Snyder. I dropped this PSA DNA. But this is one of my favorite autographs that I got probably a few weeks ago. So, yep. The great Willie Mays, and also Duke Snyder. So, yeah, I got this on eBay a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, but I really definitely enjoy this, or I love this autograph and picture. Yep, it's definitely. I think it's cheap right now since he's alive and the baseball season hasn't started, but I could be wrong. It's going to be definitely put in a frame one day. Now, a few things I wanted to get into. Number one, I see comments all over about, hey, you're saying all these things about inflation, deflation, and then vintage cards, right? They're going to hold, right? Well, here's my, like, you could say analysis. The thing is, if you had purchased vintage maybe a few years ago when everything is cheap, during a hardcore crash, I think it will hold up. This is not investment advice. This is just me saying that if I had bought, for instance, maybe a Nolan Ryan vintage card, a rookie card, or Reggie Jackson, Clemente, etc., when everything was cheap in 2018, then I wouldn't be worried. I would be holding it for the long term. Now, people that are seeing sales, record sales right now, buying it, I think those guys are going to get burned if they're forced to liquidate in the next few years. And I think that because of this pandemic, it has totally distorted the pricing mechanism. I know there are people here that have bought vintage in 2009, 2010. Yeah, I don't think those cards are going to go. I mean, you're not going to lose money, in my opinion, if you had bought that long ago. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. So anyone buying now is probably going to be the ones left holding the bag, just like with all those guys that bought Michael Jordan, what, 600, $700,000. That's what I'm trying to say. And the same thing with Marvel. Whoever's buying the Marvel now is going to get burned. People that were smart enough to buy Marvel when it was cheap and are selling, that's the smart money when it comes to Marvel. I don't know Marvel too much, so that's why I didn't get into it. I was looking into it briefly in a PSA magazine, I think 2 years ago, but then I was like, I don't know this market too well, so therefore I am not going to be investing in it or speculating. Now, I wanted to get into this topic of conflict of interest. And in my opinion, there's a lot of conflict of interest, and it has hurt many individuals who are speculating in cards under $10,000. And over a year ago, I've mentioned this over again. Not many people were cautious. Not many people were warning individuals about, hey, here's some potential headwinds in February, March. Now, there have been some people that have, but for the most part, I didn't see that much content where people were saying, hey, watch out, be careful. Um, if you're speculating, just make sure to get into items that no one else is getting into. And that's what I'm still saying now. I'm advocating people, hey, look into something that's cheap, below the radar, and get into that. And I show you some of the cards and autographs that I'm buying. Could I be right on those? No. Could I be correct on it? I could. But this is just what I've done over and over again since 2018. Now, regarding the conflict of interest, you have to ask yourself this question. Those individuals that were making the money, were how much did they get in advertisements from people in this industry to push their product? And also, did it impact the type of videos that they did? Also, for individuals that have multiple or millions of dollars in investments in this hobby, does it impact the way they produce their videos? Does it prevent them from being objective, from speaking the truth? And some people may have believed over a year ago that prices would exponentially go higher and higher and higher. Guess what? They haven't, unless there's some niche cards, maybe a Tom Brady rookie card that has held pretty well and it's actually gone up. But most of the cards, like I mentioned, minus these scarce vintage cards, they've gone down. They've gone down significantly. So the conflict of interest is a huge problem, and it's like I mentioned in the previous video regarding some of these conferences, there's advertisers there, right? And I could argue, hey, there's advertisers everywhere in our society. That's true, but we're at a market high right now. Still, cards, you could argue, yeah, they have gone down, but comparatively for a few years, there are still individuals who believe that they can make significant amounts of money. Now, that being said, where are the individuals at these conferences that have objective views? Or how many of the individuals that go to these conferences will have an objective view when presenting their opinion? And I've looked at some of these guys. Some of them are definitely qualified, but like I mentioned before, some of these guys are pumpers. Some of these guys are just promoted because they are uberly bullish. So that's all I'm saying. There's a lot of conflict of interest out there, and I don't believe government regulation is the solution. However, I do believe there should be more accountability, especially for those individuals that were hyping the hobby up like crazy over a year ago. Over a year ago, you had, if you were uberly bullish, you got so many views. If you had a contrary opinion like mine, you weren't promoted. The cartel only promotes the bulls. They don't promote any guys that say, hey, this looks similar to 1994. Doesn't mean that they're right, but there is no contrary opinion, in my opinion, that is allowed to be spoken. And if they do speak that, then they're not going to be promoted. They're not going to be invited. That's just my take. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think about this conflict of interest. What should be done with this conflict of interest? I am quite interested to see what others have in mind. Some people would say, no, you shouldn't worry about conflict of interest. This industry isn't too big and people should be smart enough to make their own decisions. Yeah, that's fine. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are pissed off. You could see this in content creator videos. I'm going to do a video about sentiment sometime soon. A lot of people are pissed. A lot of people are mad, and they want answers. They want to see, why did their modern cards that their favorite guys that were talking, why are they down? Why are they significantly down? And what can be done in the future to prevent that? And yeah, I still want to collect. I just am very, very picky. I'm going where no one's going, and I don't want to be throwing money in a high-end card anytime soon. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, guys. Thanks. Bye.